Hey everybody, welcome to TIW Podcast. I'm Eric, and today I watched The Amazing Race 31, Episode 3. Spoilers away if you haven't seen this episode yet and don't want to find out what happens, then stop listening and go watch this episode. It is a pretty good one. Teams head from Laos to Ho Chi Minh City in Vietnam. It's a huge contrast how they booked this this leg of the race compared to season 1, where teams had to find a travel agency. I don't think they were even told where a travel agency was. They had to figure that out too, and work with an actual human who is sitting at a very slow computer, I assume. It's a very slow computer to figure out, oh, you can get on these flights, but in reality, they already had the flights picked out so that the production are already figured out, I think. But anyway, they had to go and figure that all out with an actual person at a separate location from the airport. Sometimes maybe they could find one at the airport. All of that. In this, it was like 30 seconds showing them, oh, just scrolling through some screens and book it now. Pay now. Oh, that was easy. It was a great commercial for the Travelocity app, which is what they use to do that. I didn't know Travelocity, you could book international flights and stuff too. I've never used the Travelocity app, honestly. For all my flights, I book using the Southwest Airlines app because 90% of my flights are on Southwest, so that I get points towards getting on A-list for next year. I got to A-list this year. That sounds I know that sounds really braggy, but it's I was able to pull it off because I got the number of one-way legs of trips, and a lot of the one-way legs from trips are from Denver are pretty cheap, so it worked out a lot better to do it that way than to get the sheer number of points to get to A-list, because I wasn't even close. I was maybe like 20% of the way there at most. But going just by the flight count, I nailed it. And if you can if you travel a lot, I think whatever airline you choose to do the most, getting into like the upper levels of the things, it does make the flying experience a bit better. This is in stark contrast. Before last year, I avoided flying at all costs because I hated it so much, but I realized that I didn't like it because it always meant that I would have to take BART, because most of my flights would be to San Francisco, and then out to Concord you have to take BART, and it's the trains that I hate. The airplane isn't so bad, but then after having been on the flight and getting on the airplane, getting onto a train, that's they're kind of old. I've been on a new train a couple of times, like in a new car, but most of them are very old and they're not very clean, and it's just thinking about it right now is making me a little bit sick. But anyway, once I got over that, and I was like, okay, that's part of it, and then the fact that I don't fly very much, I'm not used to it, and so I get kind of airsick pretty easily. But now, having traveled a lot in the last year and a half, now I'm it's totally fine. I don't get airsick, and I also try to avoid, for the most part, public transportation. So I don't get just grossed out being on there after a long flight with all my luggage and stuff. Not really grossed out, but it's not fun. It's not fun to be on a train with all your luggage with you. It's like more stressful. But anyway, they use the Travelocity app. I use Southwest app and Booking.com. Maybe I'll try Travelocity sometime. But Booking.com, you get rewards there. You get Genius rewards. And sometimes that's pretty good. It's like at least 10% off at participating hotels and stuff. I haven't used it. I haven't used it for anything other than hotels. I guess you can. I mean, this is an Amazing Race episode. I can talk about travel stuff, the logistics of figuring out travel. So they have. They do. You know what? Booking.com is only hotels. I am mistaken. I thought that they did like. Oh wait. There's a section. Oh, there is a car rental section, but it's not like its own separate tab. And I wonder if they have flights on here too. Doesn't look like they have flights in this app. But I wouldn't use it on there anyway. I think if you have I recommend Southwest. And my strategy. Okay, here's some strategies for Southwest. First of all, if you're not on A-list, it's absolutely worth it to do the early bird check-in. I know it does add a little bit more, and it's not like you're getting a first-class seat or anything like that, but you don't have to worry about checking in online and not getting like C55 as your boarding number, which is you're going to be in a middle seat. You're going to be in a middle seat. If you're in the C group, you're going to be in the middle seat. Like automatic. That's just how math works. 1/3 of the seats are middle seats. And the C group is 1/3 of the people that are on the airplane. If you're in the C group, you're screwed. You're getting in a middle seat. Don't even try looking for an aisle or a window. It's just how it is. I'm sorry. But anyway, yeah, early bird is absolutely worth it. And then if you can get on A-list, it's great because I thought that you still had to check in like 24 hours, exactly 24 hours ahead of time to get a good spot. But as it turns out, I totally forgot to do that on this trip to Las Vegas this last week and just a couple days ago. And it was fine. I still got a really good boarding number. I think the lowest I've been on the totem pole, so to speak, has been like A33 or something like that, which that's worth it because you can still buy the same flights. You just don't have to spend that extra money on early bird at that point, and it's great. It makes it even easier to make A-list happen the next time, as long as you have actual places to go or the place. So, at times, I wondered, what if I just took a place like out of the way as a separate booking, so it counts as even though I'm going to, let's say I'm going to Los Angeles. What if I book a trip, one flight to Las Vegas, go out of security and all that, and then book a separate reservation from Las Vegas to Los Angeles. So it'd be like I had a connecting flight, but it counts as two legs of the trip, as two separate one-way trips. That could be a way to multiply that. Interesting. Anyhow, yeah, they use the Travelocity app to book their flights and their hotel. I got to stay in hotels on this leg. We have Tyler and Corey, who are not too happy with having been U-turned, and what's their names? Becca and Floyd come over to them, say, "Here's some trail mix. It's our peace offering." That's not what they sound like, but here's our peace offering. There's some trail mix. We're so sorry. And then Rachel and Alyssa bring something over to Floyd and Becca, say, "Oh, we have a peace offering. We're so sorry for you turning you." So it was kind of silly, but anyway, the Big Brother teams, they form an alliance. How many are there? Only those three anyway. Yeah, the three Big Brother teams, they agree that they're going to help each other out. That's Nicole and Victor, Rachel and Alyssa, and Janelle and Brittany. And that does come into play a little bit on this leg. They're in Vietnam, and it's nighttime. There's all the crazy the downtown nightlife stuff going on. They go to their first. It's the roadblock. No, it's the detour. Detour. I always get it mixed up. Detour is when they have the choice between the two things. Reel it in, where they have to fish for prawn, in this big indoor fishing pool thing, and then light it up, where they have to learn a dance that's done in the dark. They have like light up suits and stuff. It looks really, really cool. And a lot of the teams initially choose dance, but it's very, very difficult for some of them. Floyd and I keep forgetting her name, Becca. Floyd and Becca like absolutely tear it up. They get their first, so they don't have to. They don't nail it their first try, but they nobody else had arrived yet, so they could try again right away. And I think they got like in 2 tries, which is really, really impressive. But okay, I didn't really know much about this team yet because I haven't seen their previous season, and they weren't really catching my eye so in the first 2 episodes, but now they're starting to grow on me, especially since they learned. Maybe I would have known this already from the previous season, but Floyd was a drum major at University of Colorado, right nearby here, like 35 miles away. I don't know how far away it is, maybe 15. It's in Boulder, but that's really cool. That's really cool. And I wonder when that was. He's probably younger than me, so I doubt that. If he's the same age as me, then I may have seen him at shows or something. I don't know. So yeah, that was pretty cool. I wonder if he's done other. I wonder if he did drum corps. They haven't mentioned that. I mean, it's like not a biography show or anything like that. So they do really well in the dance. A couple of teams they do not do very well at the dance, and then they switch over to the fishing. Eliza and Corinne are one of those teams. And then the other Survivor team, Chris and Brett, for some reason, I think that they were trying to prove too much to themselves or something like, oh, we're gonna go for it this time. We're gonna keep up with the rest of them. And so I think that was part of the reason that led them to choosing the dance instead of like the surefire thing that they'd be good at, which is the fishing. Because they ended up switching anyway, and if they had, they would have been in really, really good shape to get to the next challenge. But the next challenge, so the fishing thing, they had it to catch 8 prawn, and one of the teams was surprisingly good at it. That team was Karina and Eliza, they did not switch. They chose that right away to do the fishing thing. Good choice on their part. They were struggling at the beginning, but then they quickly caught up to Tyler and Corey, who were the first ones to get there, and caught their 8 prawns first. And then Tyler and Corey got theirs, and a couple more teams that switched over, they eventually got theirs as well. And it did look pretty fun, but also super gross. Just touching animals, slimy animals, doesn't seem like much fun. I don't know if they're slimy, but they're wet, so it seems slimy. But anyway, after this detour, they head over to the roadblock and just tune it out, where one member of the team has to learn a few lines of a song in Vietnamese at Kingdom Karaoke and perform for the party going on upstairs this karaoke song. And it was great. They're saying, oh, who was saying that? Said there's no way they would choose to learn a dance. Talking about Brett and Chris, because they're it was I think it was Eliza and Corinne. They were talking about them because they haven't seen anybody else, and they thought, well, maybe Chris and Brett got lost or something like that, because there's no way that they would choose to learn the dance. Cut to Brett and Chris trying to learn the dance, and they're not good at it at all. But yeah, Floyd absolutely nails this karaoke because he got there first. He really took his time with it. He practiced a lot. He's really getting into it. He's got the musical background and everything. And yeah, I think he got it on his first try, or we're led to believe that it was his first try, and he nails it. Um, Brett and Chris, they switch back, and he's like, this is hard. This dancing is hard. That was great. I love that. I love those guys. The pit stop. It was in a flower market or a flower section of the market, and then they're good. They're good to go when they get there. What other notable things happened? That was all for my notes. But it was funny just watching some of the teams just struggle so hard at the dancing, and then struggling with the friggin' I don't know which of them is Leo and which of is Jamal. But the one who did the karaoke, he was like he got let into the room to practice with the headphones and everything. And he doesn't even listen to the song first. He's like, "No, I just want to go try it." And like, what the what is the word I'm looking for? The hubris to think that you could just nail karaoke in another language just because it's karaoke. You have to at least know the rhythm of the song. You can't just be like and just totally guessing at everything. So yeah, he did it. It did seem like he had to go practice a little bit because he just bombed it. It was a greatest hits of bombing karaoke. After the first couple of teams, the first couple of teams did really, really well, but then everybody else was really struggling. Also seeing the struggle with the dancing. The Afghanimals, they struggled the most. They were last ones to finish the dancing part of it. But they were able to overcome. They were able to just barely squeak by and get and finish the karaoke part ahead of Chris and Brett. So the number one team, let's go down the rankings. This totally messes up the averages. There's who is the most consistent? The most consistent now is Colin and Christy. I think I would have to do actual math. Just a quick look at it. Actually, Chris and Brett are extremely consistent. I think they are the most consistent. Everybody who's still left as of this leg. But number one, Becca and Floyd, they absolutely killed it in this episode, and they also killed it in my heart. No, that's weird. They've won me over a little bit. I am rooting for them. But my number ones are still the Afghanimals. Number two, Nicole and Victor. That was notable because they didn't help the other Big Brother teams at all. But they had a little bit of previous experience going for them for these challenges. So that helped them a lot. And I'm starting to like them a lot now, too. Number three was Colin and Christy. So they're now at 2, 4, 3. That's very consistent. Average of third place. So it's very close to being the most consistent. Let's see. Number 4 was Tyler and Corey. Number 5 was Corinne and Eliza. And then number 6 was Janelle and Brittany, and then Rachel and Alyssa were trying to find the pit stop, and then they shouted out to her, so "Hey, Rachel, over here!" And Phil's like, "Oh, why'd you do that?" I'm like, "Oh, we're friends. We helped each other out on this leg. It was nice. It was a nice thing to do." So we'll see if that friendship lasts. That was number 7. Number 8, so second to last place, was Leo and Jamal, the Afghanimals. And then number 9 was Chris and Brett. But it was a non-elimination leg, so they'll have to do a what do they call it? A roadblock? No. They have to do a road speed bump. Whew. Anyway, they'll have to do that in the next leg, and hopefully they can overcome it. They're like the ultimate underdogs right now. So they've been in 7th, 8th, and 8th, which is extremely consistent. Oh no, sorry. 7th, 8th, and 9th. Oh, so they're exactly as consistent as Colin and Christy. See, instead of an X, I've been writing an X on my chart under their placement, and I decided, non-elimination, I'll write an O instead of an X, and it made, because I wrote it underneath a 9, it like overlaps with the 9, so it looks like an 8. So that is my bad. Those two teams are exactly as consistent as each other because they've been within one placement of the same each week. So 2, 4, 3, 7, 8, 9. Very consistent. So hopefully they can, if they're on the higher end of their consistency, they can stay in the game. And Colin and Christie, they seem like a lock to be in here for quite a while longer. But then again, Afghanimals were killing it in the first two legs, and they were almost out of it. Even if they got last, they wouldn't have been out of it, but they were close. Second to last place. Man. But the prize that Becca and Floyd got was a trip for 2 to the Bahamas. So, yeah, it's a good one. I really like this episode. The prawn fishing was a lot more interesting than I thought. The dancing was a lot of fun, but I expected that from the explanation of the challenge. And then the karaoke was also really fun. I gotta look up what that actual song is. Maybe it's on Spotify, and I can listen to it in full and not just the highlights of very bad karaoke for it. I'm going to talk about this in the next episode. I got to talk about NXT and NXT UK. But I have to mention this because it has to do with singing. Velveteen Dream sings this song in this week's episode of NXT. It's the Velveteen Dream version of Star Spangled Banner, and he is very, very bad at singing. Like, we've exposed his weakness. The one thing that the Dream is not good at is singing. But if he made up those words, he was very good at being as a lyricist. But as a vocalist, no, please don't do that again. I'll talk about this more in the next episode, though. So yeah, who am I? I'm rooting for the same people. Corinne and Eliza are doing surprising well. They're increasing. I think they're the only team that has done better every week so far. 9, 6. Yeah, they are. Except Nicole and Victor, they went 6-2-2. So I guess that kind of counts. And I'm kind of rooting for them now too. I really just want Rachel and Alyssa to be eliminated so that they're not the worst. So that they are the worst. I hope that they are the worst because they are the worst, so that they are no longer the worst. Make sense? Yes. All right. I think that's it for this episode. Let me know what you thought by tweeting me at TIW Podcast. Go to TIWpodcast.com for more reviews. If you enjoyed this episode or anything else on the site, please share some links with your friends. Subscribe on iTunes, Stitcher, Spotify, YouTube, wherever you like to listen to podcasts. And I'll be back real soon with whatever episode comes next. Thanks for listening. Thanks for listening. Stay safe out. Oh my God. Stay safe. Stay safe. Stay safe out there, super friends. And I'll see you next time. Bye. Oh, the iPad was locked. All right. See you next time. Bye.